Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Labs Garage. Today's episode I'm going to be rebuilding a single barrel Rochester carburetor common on GM inline sixes. I think some of the 4-cylinder stuff uses too. Anyway, this specific one came off a 1964 Pontiac Tempest. As far as I know, it's an original carburetor, and I'm actually in the midst of reviving that car now to put it back on the road. It hadn't been off too long, 3 years, but nonetheless, one of the things that happened was I robbed parts off it for other projects, and I put a aftermarket carburetor on that car. It's now in that Dodge truck y'all might be able to see it behind me. Anyway, I dug out the original, so we're going to rebuild this carburetor. Also mentioned that I am not a professional mechanic. I've got very limited carburetor experience under my belt. I don't even know what all the parts are called. But nonetheless, if you're watching this video, chances are you're kind of new to this. You want some insight. So you're going to see from a novice point of view a carburetor rebuild. I won't be talking over your heads. Believe me, I can do it. You can do it. One of the things you're going to need is, of course, your carburetor, a rebuild kit. This is one I got off Rock Auto. Pick, flathead screwdriver. I like 2 different sizes. Phillips head screwdriver. Some opening wrenches. What I ended up using was a 10mm, 3/8, 7/16. Fuel filter. This is what I used. I used a crescent wrench, and you're probably going to want to go to the dollar store or Walmart and pick you up a cookie sheet or some kind of kitchen pan, because that whole part's great, but your wife probably won't appreciate you going and getting a nice Calphalon one from out of the kitchen. This one was actually in my pile of scrap. I think I'm going to keep this because it really did well. But anyway, let's get busy. First step will be finding the carburetor, because God, I hadn't. Full disclosure, I'm actually done, but I had a little bit of a difficult time finding it. Alright, so in the toolbox of the white Dodge truck, I had 2 carburetors, 2 single barrels. I couldn't remember. But this one right here, if you look close real there, Rochester. And that should be the only GM single barrel carburetor I have, so that makes sense. This must be the Dodge one. I kind of think I remember that fitting. But yeah, I wonder why this truck didn't like this carburetor. Alright, so got the carburetor here. I'm going to hopefully put the whole thing in this can. I hope it fits. I think I'll have to take this off. That's not that big a deal, but yeah, if I could get the whole thing in here, that would be fantastic. If not, we'll see. Let me get a wrench and take that off. Looks like 3/8 maybe. No. I should find the 10mm before I find the 3/8. It's a good thing, because that's exactly what I needed. So now, I'm probably going to have to take the basket out. Now let's see if the whole thing will fit in there. I think that choke thing's going to screw me up. Now if I screw it off, choke removal almost complete. Aha! And I'll come revisit this tomorrow. In the meantime, put the little screws in the basket. I'll lose them. And look at that. Put that in there too. Let the carburetor soak in that bearing overnight. And then tomorrow, get the kit out and we'll rebuild it. Alright, so last night I put the carburetor in this can, and a few tiny parts I had to take off in the basket. Now let's see how we did. Screwdriver. Hand trunk. Cover as much of this as I can. I'm going to set this right here for the time being. Get something to put this on, close my can up, and we're going to go rebuild it. Also, before I get busy with that, I set my compressor up. Gonna blow some air through it. Alright, so I moved up to my picnic table. Good work area, and I got my kit, a rag, the stuff that was in the basket, screwdriver. I'm sure I'm gonna have to get a different one, but this will do for now. And of course the carb. Also, a can of carb cleaner. And you really shouldn't eat or drink anything when you're working on these because of the caustic nature of this stuff. So I got this. Anyway, I'm going to move the camera down to this because you really don't need to see me for this. But anyway, we're going to tear into this carb and see if we can't get it right. Alright, so first things first, this actually has Phillips heads, not torqued at all. I kind of think for some reason I opened this thing up at some point and just halfway put it back together. So definitely when I go reassemble this, I'll get my Phillips head, go to the garage and get that, but I know I'm going to need other things, so as long as this thing's backing the screws out and there's no resistance, I'll keep using my flathead. And trays, like this is a cooking tray of some sort. Normally I like to use cookie sheets from the dollar store, but I went looking through my stuff and found this in my scrap metal, so I said, okay, that'll work. Anyway, go keep it like this so my little washer doesn't get separated from the screw. And just try to find a spot on the tray to keep everything together. I probably left the carburetor in the cleaner way too long, or way longer than necessary, but this way I know it got a thorough soaking. Alright, so that's all that. Now, yes, definitely been opened up at some point. Alright. So I should definitely unhook this somehow. I can figure out an easy way. Good googly woogly. There we go. So get this rod here unhooked. There we go. Alright, and this is what we got up top. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What was that? Alright, up here that was just a lock washer. I was afraid it was a ball and I wouldn't know where it went. Yeah. So we're just going to keep telling ourselves it's just that. Go give this a quick spray out. The reason I did that is this spray cleaner is a good bit thinner, and where this stuff's kind of thick like maple syrup, I can get it out easy. Let's see what's in the box. perfect. It looks like that's a good one. Let's see. What's the difference between these two? Absolutely nothing. Alright. Good, good, good. Alright. Needle and seat. Perfect. Looks like I got a variety of base gaskets. A couple of little things there, I'll keep them there. Little framer square. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's my accelerator pump. I am not an expert at carburetors, by the way, so if I can pull this off, that means you should have no problems. Little itty bitty springs, more seals, seats, clips, all this little stuff. So anyway, go try to get this little clip off here. I do see there's some new ones in the kit. I think you'd be better off with a pick pulling out, but oh, you got some flathead screwdriver. I just did prove that that will work. There's that spring. Go try to keep all this in order. The pump. It's got a little teeny spring inside that, with the seal and all. We got this spring here, which is reluctant to come out, so I might just take that as a hint to leave it. Getting there cleaned out good. Just trying to make sure there's nothing down there that I need to give attention to. Looks like we're pretty good. So I'm going to stick the new pump right back down there. I'm going to slide the spring right over top just like the old one was. Get mildly frustrated that it doesn't seem to go down. If you want to insert your favorite expletive here, be my guest, your choice. Alright. So, we got everything lined up. Now this little itty bitty clip, we gotta get this through the hole. There we go. I can easily see how somebody would lose one of these clips. Alright, so my camera battery died, so I'm not sure what the last thing you saw was. But anyway, got the accelerator pump in, got the clip on top. That's great. Now looking down here, there's not a whole lot of like fuel metering, mixing, whatever parts down here. But there is right here this little bar that goes across. And I see there is something that looks like this in the kit, so I'm just kind of wiggling it up with my screwdriver. There's a little bitty spring under it. And this is what the piece looks like. A little T. And where's... yeah, there's one right there in this kit, so... not sure what it does, being completely honest with you. This is an itty bitty spring here. Let's just set that there. I'm kind of thinking, yeah, there's a ball in there. Alright, so you have this little thing here. Looks like a BB. Hopefully that show up better. Yeah. There's one of them in here, so. I'm probably okay with the old BB, but. And there's two sizes. This one's a little bigger. And it looks to match. If it looks like it's not the same, I will reuse that because I don't know why you wouldn't. I just have a new one. that is definitely smaller. Oh, there's 3 in here. Let's try this one. Well, get your rumpa-dumpus out of the package. Yeah, they look the same. So, boop. Where did my screwdriver go? I swear I'm be darned. Did it fall? Where'd it go? Do you see it? Do you see my screwdriver? Ah, there it is. You may have seen it. Stay. I mean that. Now these other ones, I'm really wondering if something's supposed to go into these holes. And maybe they're missing from previous rebuilds. I don't know. See what happens if I squirt into these. Okay. Also, while I flipped it over, I noticed this. Which I may have to get a big boy screwdriver to undo that, but that's okay. I got them. Alright, so I got a few more tools now. First thing though, I got this big mamma jamma. If I can't. Yeah, see? That Mickey Mouse screwdriver I was using earlier just wasn't going to cut it. So I had to get the snap on. Let's see what it's holding. Alright, we got another one of those little itty bitty clips, which I got a pick for. Yeah, wasn't that easier? Pull that vacuum line there off, set that to the side. Alrighty, so I'm going to want to take the screw out while I make real careful I understand where this thing was. So make a little scratch mark at 11 o'clock. Just count. Half, 1. Half, 2, half, 3, half, 4, half, 5, oh great, half, 6, half. So 6 and a half to get it all the way seated, and I've realized about halfway up I'm supposed to run it in all the way and seat it and then back it out and count all that. Oh boy. Anyway, a little cleaner through those, get that all cleared out. So needle, blow this. Alright, so getting the mixture screw really cleaned out good. I'll also see the transfer slot in there, which is a little slot. Looks like the screwdriver will go in about halfway in there. I know it's going to be hard to see. Got that. And we did the, we get this vacuum port too, even though it was capped. Alright, now see fluid going all the way through. So, alright, the bottom should be in fairly good shape now. Just want to make sure that it didn't give me another adjuster screw. It didn't. I didn't really think it did, but just check. Alright, so 6 in. Half 1, half 2, half 3, half 4, half 5, 1.5, 6. So it should be like 1.5 to go the rest of the way. I'm just going to check. No, it was like half. So I'm going to take it to this. Yeah, I jacked that up. So anyway, it's all good. We'll get it straight. We'll go ahead and put the vacuum cap back on, inspect it, see if it's dry rotting. That one's in good shape, so I'm not really that concerned about it. So now I brought a razor blade out. I'm just going to make sure there's no old gasket material on here. And all these gaskets, I'm going to find the new one that goes in here and looks like this. Which I think is this one. It is. So I'm going to put me a new gasket in there. Okay. Now, the bulb mechanism. I really should have paid better attention. But that's what I say about my school experience too. Should have paid better attention. That's what I got y'all for. Y'all are paying attention. And yeah, there have been instances where I've taken something apart and I had to look at my own videos, see how it went back together. Especially if I started working on something and a long time had passed. You know, such as the steering wheel and the carpet this goes to. Yeah. So go ahead and just lightly start these by hand. Get your gasket and everything lined up. And a couple little turns. And then take the big old screwdriver. Seat it down. I'm sure there's some kind of torque specification. I'm just going to go with tight. But in all seriousness, alright, got it there. I got it snug. Now I'm going to come to this side. This will keep it from getting out of bind, hopefully. Screw this one in. Since the other one's snug, I'm going to go tight on this one. Tight. Now I'm going to come back to this one. Tight. Very good. Alright. So that's done. That's stayed in, thank goodness. And we do have some gasket material here. I'll take this opportunity to go ahead and clean that off. Be careful not to gouge the metal doing this. And when I pull it, I scrape kind of pulling away from the bowl so the debris won't go in it. But that's definitely something we're going to want to check for before we put this all back together. Make sure no gasket debris got in there. Probably would have been a better idea to do this first, but yeah. I keep trying it this way because that's the sun directly to my back. Good work light would probably help if you're indoors, but best work light ever, I believe, is the sun. Just gonna do this again. Alright, so I got it good and clean in there. You got this, like this bowl section, then you got a much larger one, then there's a little tiny one right there. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. Do my best to clean it. I'm satisfied that this is clean. So I'm going to take this and set it on the box. Have a beverage real quick. Oh wow, look what that stuff does to the label. So probably should be wearing gloves doing all this. That's amazing. Okay. Another thing I'll point out is when you put the bottom part back on, make sure you don't forget that rod that we took out earlier. Because what happened was I was cleaning up, I found that little bitty clip. I was like, wait a minute. And I've realized I'd forgotten to put that back together. So anyway, a little important tidbit. Now what needs to be done next? Needle and seat, that's a big one. Need to get that working. So I gotta get these floats off. Nothing complicated there. The carburetor housing holds this bar in. So just gotta make sure, get it out, lift the floats. And I was shaking them up next to my ear. If you hear sloshing in there, then your floats are bad. Before I get started on this, I'll go ahead and clean this bit of gasket material. Got a little bit right there. I'm going to spray it good before I put it back together. That was some gunk right there. Yeah, we definitely go spray this out good. Anyway, here's the needle and seat. Which looks like that might take a 3/8 wrench to get it out. 7/16 is not. Let's see. Yeah, so let me go find me a 3/8 and try to break that loose, and then I'll be back. So I got both a 3/8 and a 10mm. And it is a 3/8. Actually, I found the 10mm and don't need it. So I just looked at this and I realized this comes out. That may allow me some better access. So just gotta be careful with all this stuff. Real careful I don't mess any of that up. This big thing, I don't know what that is, I'm being completely honest with you. Okay, so what I found was a can of brake clean. I have used this before in carburetors, it will work. Things I could swear I had a couple cans of that stuff. But no worries, go just. Alright, that's cleaned out, and then there's some stuff in here I want to what I'm doing now is I'm just, every orifice I'm sticking that straw in, trying not to get sprayed in the face. Just try to make sure we're just good and clean in there, because it does not take much to plug up a carburetor. And what I'm doing right now, I'm just checking it over really good. I'll make sure I don't miss anything, make sure there's no balls stuck in there that I'm not seeing anywhere. I'm just kind of picking up, looking all at it. This has a lot of trash in it. Do not understand why, but now it seems to just keep reappearing at the same place, and there's no cavities anywhere for it to hide. Where's it coming from? Oh, that is needle and seat, huh? Let's see if I can use the new one. If I ever use one, that's fine and dandy, but I don't think this one will work with this carburetor. This is a kit they said to get. These places can be wrong too. We'll still have to see if it'll thread in. It will. Okay, okay. Gotcha. So go ahead, put that gasket on there. Thread a new needle and seat in there. So yeah, I could reuse the old one if I really wanted to. But it took a little bit to free that up, so I'd rather not. So do that. This little tie in like this. Okay, the needle in there. Let's see, now the thing it went here. Alright, let's see what we got. I'll take this apart real quick, make sure this is good and clean. Boy, this is a jet. Alright, so I squirted them out with the brake clean. Now if I could just find them again. Go ahead and put that back together. It's not the 10 M&M. That's not a job for you. .3/8. Ooh, little itty bitty spring. Little itty bitty ball. Alright, so let's get that out. Alright. Clean. Now, yeah, I know it would be a whole lot better if I was familiar with what half these parts are called. But the thing is, what I'm hoping y'all can get out of this, is I can do this. Without even knowing where all the parts are. So can you. Just take your time, one thing at a time. And yeah, there's people that you could give them a bag of parts they could put back together. All I gotta say is good for them. And that was the medium ball. I'm a little concerned where that little ball's supposed to go, but I never found it, so. One thing to note too is if you got some parts left over after doing one of these, don't be too alarmed, because what the rebuild kit companies will do will, rather than make 20 different kits with different variations, they'll make one and it's cheaper for them just to include an extra gasket or something you'll need. And have a one does everything. It's cheaper on their end, so then the places only have to stock one kit and blah 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 blah. And like that needle and seat, they may have changed the design on a different year, and who knows. I don't care as long as it works. That's all I really care. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this thingamabob back on. I think it was this one. Find out in a second here. Alright, so go ahead and tighten this back down. Now one more thing before I commence any further with reassembly is on GMs they keep a fuel filter in here, which as a Ford guy, it took me a long time before I knew that. But anyway, it's not a bad thing to just bust that out, not the needle out by accident, and open it up. It really shouldn't look too bad. There's a spring in here, so be careful with that. And I got to replace it. This little Buicks thing. Nice Mustang. There's a neighborhood across the street from me, and well, I'm not real happy that there is a neighborhood across the street from me. There's a couple nice Mustangs over there. Not much in the way of classics, but there are a couple Mustangs. This is like a more modern Universal. This is more what I'm accustomed to here. Did somebody put the wrong thing in here? Would not surprise me. Alright, so now got the fuel filter changed. Go put my needle back in. Needle and seat. Alright, so every so often, if you're new to the channel, future me will interject and put in my 2 cents on something. And normally it's because I found something and realized, oops, I shouldn't have done it that way, and I gotta go back and undo something. And that's exactly what's happening right now. What happened was I went to put the gasket on here so I could start reassembling, and I looked and I realized the gaskets, there's 2 of them, both shaped like this, they go on here. The thing is, right in this area, I had a little piece of mystery gasket I was trying to figure out. The old gasket was so gone and disintegrated, I didn't know that it goes in before this. So I have to take this out. So why would I show you when I goof? Well, to show you, first of all, I want to get you down. It's alright. We make mistakes. And 2, if you're doing this as a follow along, rebuilding your Rochester single barrel, I don't want you having to undo assemblies. So that's why future me is interjecting. Now, let's see what we got to do here. So now, everything's lined up. I can put this hockey back. Alright, now the rod and the floats. And that's not good. There is rain forecast and it's getting dark. As you can see, I put a light up. But I think I felt a few spits on me, and that was not what I wanted. I definitely felt a few spits of rain. So anyway, now we got the other half of the carburetor. Make sure all this stays together. And now I'm going to merge it all together. Hold it, flip it over. Let's see, in this one, I remember this one went right here. And like I said, I went and got me a Phillips head. Now you notice I didn't set the float levels or anything. That's what you use this for. But being I really didn't monkey around with anything, I'm going to take my chances I got it right the first time. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe I'll be sorry I did that. Huh, kit number things. Amazing for a 1964 vehicle, this tag's still on here. Normally they're long gone. Not this one. Uh-oh. The connector. I forgot all about this. Oh, I hope it's not a bad thing. Smooth. If you're unfamiliar with smooth, oh, some made up obscenity on the whole show Dinosaurs. They just made one up. And I actually say it sometime when appropriate. Alright, so anyway, I took this off, got back on there. Crisis averted. You know, it would have been a whole lot easier to have done this in the beginning. Oh well. Anyway, where's that? Now this is an automatic car, so I'm kind of wondering about the kickdown. Oh. Well, we'll figure that out. Let's see, let's go ahead and screw this on here. Now I'm trying to beat the rain. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? Now, I remember right, this goes like this, and since I haven't changed anything, it should tighten right up, but it's not because I cleaned it so well. Anyway, 3/8. Anyway, it's 10 millimeter. Tighten that right up. I don't know why there's a metric nut on there on a 1964 vehicle. The rain's picking up, so I got to get this done. So let's the choke. The choke! I hope the wind chimes aren't screwing y'all's audio up too bad. They are singing a joyful noise unto the Lord. So do 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 do. Alright, so here we go. My carburetor. Oh, let me readjust the screen. Alright, so here we go. The rebuild of my Rochester single barrel carburetor is now complete. And I'm going to put it back on my 1964 Pontiac Tempest. Now, the Tempest is going to need more than just this carburetor to get running again. I've been robbing parts off that thing, and it's a shame. That car deserves better. But nonetheless, this is a big step in getting it back on the road again. It's been off the road about 3 years. And as far as getting it on and tuned and all, I am going to refer you to another video I did years ago where I took that car and I put a carburetor on it, but I put one of those Chinese aftermarket ones on there, and I ended up robbing it to put on my Dodge truck because I need a carburetor. And to be quite honest with you, the Dodge truck liked it better than the Pontiac did, so it's keeping it. This is, as far as I know, the original carburetor. This is one that was on it when I got it, so I've rebuilt it and we'll be putting it back on soon. But nonetheless, like I said, I did a video from where I put the other one on, where I tuned it, and also I'm going to put a link to that up here. It'll be the same. That way y'all don't have to wait for me to get around to putting it on there. But if you want to see that car, I'm doing a revival on it. That'll be coming up hopefully in the next couple weeks. I'm actually got some pretty big plans for that car. But this is just one step along the way. So hopefully, like I said, this helps you all out. If you don't mind, please, I would really appreciate if you'd like the video, subscribe to the channel. They help me a lot. They help me bring you stuff and bring you some entertaining stuff like revivals and some how-to stuff like a novice point of view of rebuilding a carburetor. At one time I was scared to do this, but now I've got a couple under my belt. I've heard quadrajets are a pain in the butt. I've never rebuilt one, but I'm willing to give it a try should I need a quadrajet. So yeah, if I can do this, if I can rebuild the carburetor, you can too. I am not a trained professional mechanic, so I have very limited experience with carburetors, but this one's ready to go. So until next time, be nice to each other, take care of your vehicles, have fun with them, and I will see you again soon. Take care.